The banjo life of Steve Caddick began quite literally when he was born. Listening to his father practice as he fell asleep each night, when the time came that Steve wanted to play the banjo, the tunes and the way they should sound on the instrument were already in his head. From that simple inspiration grew a banjo player, promoter, builder, and educator who has dedicated a lifetime to the instrument. Steve's father, Bill Caddick, was a tenor banjo player of considerable skill but little patience for teaching. Learning as much of the basics as he could by watching his dad, Steve Caddick began playing the tenor banjo in 1959 at the age of 9. Gifted with a natural right-hand tremolo, the young man persevered as he studied and practiced, waiting for his left hand to catch up with his right. In the early 1960s, the lure of playing rock and roll guitar proved too much to resist. Steve spent several years both learning to read music and play the guitar, as well as performing in bands with hip names such as Benedict and the Traders and the Violets of Dawn. In the end, however, all it took was the birthday gift of a new banjo to shift Steve Caddick's attention back to his first musical love. The ensuing years saw Steve Caddick's banjo life grow in several different directions. As a banjo player, his proper musical studies led Caddick to developing strong skills as a lead player in ensembles such as the Parsons Plunkers, the Red Suspenders, the Stone Street Strummers, and his current group, Avalon. Additionally, the vocal and entertainment skills he had honed during an 8-year tenure performing with his father at the Ground Round restaurant chain in Rhode Island served Steve well as he grew to be an all-around banjo entertainer. In addition to being a featured performer at major banjo festivals and concerts around the country, his recordings with Eddie Kebabjian, such as By the Sea and Old Cape Cod, will prove to be a legacy to Caddick's skill as both a banjo player and a vocalist. Also a skilled graphic artist, Caddick studied the art of engraving and regularly applies these skills to the crafting and restoration of ornate jazz age as well as modern banjos. And as if all this were not enough, Steve Caddick plays an ongoing and active role in banjo promotion as well, working as a host and coordinator of international banjo events such as the Early Spring Banjo Fling, the FIGA Convention, and the Boston Summer Banjo Bash. Additionally, Caddick is currently the musical director of a unique aggregation known as the New England Banjo Orchestra. In the field of banjo education, Steve Caddick excels, sharing a lifetime of study and expertise with students from around the world. From countless workshops at banjo events, to in-person lessons taught in his home studio, to internet-based instruction, allowing the sharing of his knowledge with students in far-reaching areas, Caddick's passion for teaching the banjo to others is insatiable.
I'm doing it here. Try and get it up here.
This chord here?
Yes. Move it up and inside so that you've got all of that fast stuff all in the same area of the neck.
And then you're right in the right position to start that. So yeah.
go. And then try and keep the next one up in there too.
I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing just from listening to it, but...
It sounds good.
Steve Caddick's educational efforts have created a steady stream of new banjo players during recent years, and with the upcoming release of his instructional publication, The Ultimate Tenor Banjo Player's Guide, the promise of more well-trained banjo players in the future is a foregone conclusion. Whether he is active as a banjo player, promoter, builder, or educator, Steve Caddick's contributions to the betterment of the four-string banjo world are substantial, reflecting a lifetime with the banjo very well spent indeed.